Good afternoon, greetings, viewers at home. Of course, you are watching Esther for such a time as this. Sbongile Mbatha. Welcome and welcome. And of course, we are back. It has been 2 months of a study break because you all know it's so my exam and I had to take a break. And we apologize how but we are back, and let me take this opportunity and greet every leader that is watching us this afternoon. I greet all the mothers, I greet all the fathers, the chosen generation, of course, abantu abasha, of course, we are live from GNF TV channel on YouTube and GNF Ministries page on Facebook. You tell your friends to tell their friends this Esther show is on now. Share this page. We share. We share because we don't want to keep information to ourselves. And today I am so excited, Babugele Makaya. I feel so honored. I feel so humbled because I'm humbling it on Namhlanje, Babugeli. But before I introduce a guest, Namhlanje, we are live from GNF. So go, if you're not familiar with our platforms, go and like a Facebook page, it's GNF Ministries. You just like. You go on YouTube channel, subscribe on our YouTube channel, and of course on GNF TV. Babugela Makaya. As I just said, I'm handing it to Namhlanje. Ngihamba with the Honorable Rev SC Mathebula. How are you, Baba?
Hey, Mbatha, thank you for having me, and I'm so excited. It's good to be back home. Okay. And I was here on Tuesday.
Yes, of course.
And I'm here again, and then for a different topic. But I'm so glad to be here. It's really an opportunity for me to come and serve.
Wow. Just greet the viewers at home.
Yeah. Ababugele Kaya, and then we just want to greet you. And I pray that you're going to have a wonderful time, and then together with us, and then this afternoon. I'm very excited that we're going to have a wonderful time together with you.
Wow. Sawamgela Esther show.
Thank you, ma'am.
Because we believe that you're one of the leaders that have been raised for such a time as this.
Well, I was not aware, but when you say that, I accept that, you know. Yes. I don't think Esther was aware, but she was raised for such a time as this. You know, it is people who remind you, and also, you know, just nail that in your spirit to say, hey, Beggar, probably you are called for such a time as this. It's an honor for me to get that boost from God's people to remind me that I'm called for such a time as this, and I'm excited for that.
I'm excited, and I'm very excited that you are here, of course, with us this afternoon. Babugele Makaya, we all know that we are approaching our elections. I get to ask Esther. I always say, Esther, we keep it relevant. Yes, we are a church channel, but we have to be as relevant as possible. We are, of course, facing our elections next week, and we as Fundu the wrong decisions. There's so much that has been happening in our country. You have to make a right decision. Whereas when you don't vote, you will never be able to complain. You can't complain because I went down a voice. You didn't raise your voice. When you are voting, you are actually raising your voice. If you would say, I'll vote you, but today we're just here to encourage and to get to know Ubabu Esther Mathebula. Baba, before, we all know Mathebula is running for a mayor, wow, of Ekurhuleni municipality. Of course, let me give you a bit of education. I need to say Gauteng province. So Gauteng province has 3 metro municipalities, which is Ekurhuleni Metro, Johannesburg Metro, and of course, City of Tshwane. When we look at City of Tshwane, we're looking at the areas like Centurion, Pretoria North, and the Pretoria. We're looking at Johannesburg Metro, we're looking at Alexandra, we're looking at Sandton, we're looking at Johannesburg Central, we're looking at Soweto, we're looking at Rotterport, and of course, Ekurhuleni Metro Municipality. Of course, I'm from
Lenda Corner, airport.
Yes, Baba.
Balenda Lapo.
Yes, the municipality, it's one of the biggest municipalities. So please, Babugele Makaya, ngicela nje ka-Facebook uzoku-check out kancane ku-ministry page yethu usibingelele, just greet us usitshele ukuthi wena especially you are in Gauteng, greet us. Mina nguSbongile ekurhuleni metro, or mina ngubani from Johannesburg metro, or mina nguSbongile from City of Tshwane. Just greet us. I want us to interact today because this topic is very important. And of course, our topic for today is born for such a time as this. There are people that have been, you ask Esther, I've always brought people that I believe could, for a certain function, whether it's in farming, whether it's in education, but I believe those people were raised for such a time as this. And of course, we are live from GNF TV channel on YouTube, and GNF Ministries page on Facebook. Please share this page. I was about to give you a we've got 3 metro municipalities, and of course we know in Gauteng province it's one of the smallest province compared with other province, which is geographically it's about 18,000 meters square. And of course I know KwaZulu-Natal because I'm from KwaZulu-Natal, which is 94 meters square. So in Gauteng province it's a small province, but the population is very, very big because we've got a population in Gauteng of 15.8 million.
Yep.
Can you believe it?
Yep.
Such a small province.
Yes.
Wow.
Saturated.
Yeah.
Very saturated.
Funny enough, it is called a city of gold.
Yep.
So there's so much here that is happening in Gauteng.
Yep.
And of course, as I said, we've got 3 metro municipalities. Of course, it contributes 23% to the provincial GDP, which is gross domestic product. And it contributes 8.1% to the national, which is quite big for Eburuleni Phela.
Yep.
And of course, it contributes 25% of the provincial employment.
Yep.
So what I'm saying,
yeah, we are well positioned. We are well positioned, and if we can handle Eburuleni and the right, there will be a lot of hope and there will be a lot of changes in our country. And we can really build, and then going forward, the West positioned in our corner. We just need visionary leadership. And then if we can implement that, and we are going to have a good country. And I pray and hope even the other, municipalities, if they can just learn from that and they do right. There's no need for all this poverty that our people are really going through. If we implement leadership,
of course. If we implement true and good leadership, because it's very important. Because now we've got people about these are like leadership, but when you look like no, for me it doesn't define leadership. As Obaba just said, there's so much in Ekurhuleni. We all know it's home of the OR Tambo International Airport. We all know that it's the biggest airport in Africa. Not only that, as I just said, it contributes 23% of its GDP, which means we've got manufacturers which are sitting in Ekurhuleni. Yes. I know for sure that Coca-Cola Beverages South Africa is sitting in Olifantsfontein, which is Ekurhuleni. I know Clover South Africa.
Clover is there.
There's so many companies there.
Beautiful. I mean, the other one, the company Lendozane Cement as well.
Oh, wow.
We've got it around the Uruleni. So we are really positioned very well.
Interesting. Mathebula-Born, do share this page. I'm sure even now there are so many things that we've learned in just few seconds. So Baba, how have you been in this lockdown? Church closed as a reverend?
Yeah.
There's so much that has happened. How have you been?
Thank you for asking that. I thank lockdown, as painful as it might be, but I thank God. When the Bible says all things work together for good, I have seen that scripture working for me in this season, because we're locked down, and the question was, what's next? Because there was a moment that I thought, ministry, it's all about preparing a sermon and then preaching on Sunday.
Yes.
Le pulpit.
Yes, that space.
Yeah, that space, yes. What do you do? And that is when I realized, and then I had an opportunity, for me to speak with God. I had an opportunity to see what is happening around me. Sometimes we're so busy, we're not even aware of our country is going down the drain. We're not even aware of corruption in our community. It's so deep. Until COVID, came and started revealing, the things that are happening. COVID exposed us to say, are we doing church in the right way? Are we impacting the community in the right way? So it has been a season of change for me. It has been a season that challenged me to think in a different way, to interpret life in a different way. My heart has been challenged. My humility has been challenged. I love more now. I'm caring more now. And I'm saying lead abantu in a different way. And that is where I am. So I have grown so much in the past 19 months at your COVID.
Wow. Interesting. I agree with you, Baba. I think COVID has taught us, there's so many things that, let me talk about myself. It has taught me discipline. I've been working from home since the pandemic, which is March last year. So it has taught me about discipline, not to go to a manager that is looking at
Nobody's managing you.
Exactly. It has taught me to spend time. I'm from KwaZulu-Natal. So it has taught me a lot. It has taught me to get close to God as well, as you just said.
And not only that, COVID has taught me as well to say there are things that I thought they were important and they are no longer important. Kunesikhathi bengicabanga ukuthi amasutu wami are important, imoto is important. Kwafika isikhathi lapho zavala, kunesikhathi ubone imoto yakhe enhle ehlezi lapha egarage ungayidrayive. Amasutu la bengiconcern ngawo.
Talking about that, my shoes.
My shoes, my expensive shoes. And then zihlezi lapha, for 3 months without wearing shoes, to church, and then you just wake up with a t-shirt. That has taught me what I thought was important. It is not important. But you know what is important? People. People, they matter to God, because I saw friends dying. I saw my loved ones dying. I saw ordinary people that I didn't even know. Mangithula ngibheka nje ku television ukuthi nanku umuntu umfundisi ushonile naba abantu abangaka abashonile. My life was more focused in the lives of people ukuthi these other things esiwara ngazo, they are not that important, but the lives of people matters. I mean, indaba ukuthi uphuma kancane ufaka imask, you are scared ukuthi you might lose your life. I learned ukubaluleka kwempilo in a season near COVID. So that is why I'm saying the past 19 months, it taught me to look at life in a different way.
It has been difficult, but worth it.
Worth it. I'm so grateful to the Lord for the COVID.
I want to say that as well. I'm so grateful. There's so much that we've learned.
Yeah.
So, Baba, you are standing in for by mayor.
Yes.
Of Ekurhuleni. So I want to find out to you, what is leadership? What does leadership mean? Because for me, leadership is not about control.
Yeah.
But instead of control, it's about serving people.
Yeah.
Leadership for me, it's not about power, but it's about empowering other people. So according to you, what is leadership?
You've actually defined it very well. You look at everybody who was called a leader in the Bible. I'm talking about the leaders. Leaders are pathfinders. When there's no path, a leader comes in. He finds a path, not for himself, but for the people to come, and walk on that road. So number one, leaders are pathfinders. Number two, leaders, they better the lives of others. They are servants, as you say. It's amazing that sometimes we are called servants of God, but when we're supposed to serve, we don't want to serve. We actually want to be served. You understand? And then we've changed the whole thing, leadership. Christ came on earth. He's the main man who showed us what is leadership. Utu Kristo, anyone among you who wants to be great, Uti, be like this baby. You understand? Be like a baby, because a baby who pick up a into no guti aidle aiwan. Umtana kamind ukuthi makadlwa is talk sweet apinde ati because they always think about other people. So leadership, it is all about you bettering the lives of people. You've got this eye that other people, they don't have. You have this grace that people, they don't have. But all these things that God has put unto you, it's not for you. It's for you so that you can better the lives of other people. As you say, it's not about control. God has placed you. So that you can pull those who are on the floor, ukuthi babe la ukhona. You know, it's not that usetafuleni and then you must look down on those and suppress them. You know, here is something that is very important. A leader, uyibona ngani? A leader, uyibona ngabantu abaseceleni kwakhe. When people around you becoming better,
then you are a leader.
You are a leader. Wow. Abantu abaseceleni kwakho, they must improve. Impilo zabo mazishintshe, mazibe ngcono. But if people around you, impilo zabo improve, kukhula wena kuphela, and then your leadership must be questioned. So a leader is there to better the lives of others. That is what, you know, leadership is all about.
Wow. Viewers at home, I hope we got that. Also, Rev, leadership, it's all about bettering the lives of the people around you. You cannot call yourself a leader if people that you are leading or your followers are not getting better. Or when a pillar that you're getting better, then you are not. You should question your leadership skills. Yep. Because in leadership, as I just said, leadership is all about empowering another person. So long, Mathebula, or successful, or right and yet my followers that are not even improving the none.
Maybe I can also even add on that, you know, which is something that leaders need to think of. You know, the day you get into the grave and everything that you have worked for or what you have built while you are still alive, you have failed big time as a leader. Leaders, they build institutions, they build organizations.
They are influencers.
They are influencers. Uma ungaseko ifanele email lento yakhile. But uma ifa nawe lento le, you have failed as a leader. A leader ufana ubheke after 30 years and say, here is something that I have built. You know, into yakho iqhube noma ungekho. Uma ingakwazi ukuya phambili uma ungekho,
then it's a problem.
There's a problem.
Because they must be able to take over.
Exactly.
Because you have imparted something.
Yes. That is why I always say to the business person, uma run a business nge briefcase, you know, office lakho lila ku briefcase. Uma ilahleka I briefcase yonke business ifile. Or uma ugula and then I business ayikwazi ukuchubeka iye phambili. I business ay function uma wena ugula. You have not built a business. You are a business. And you are not supposed to be a business. You're supposed to build a business so that even if you are sick, you understand, and I always ask people, ukuthi i-organization yakho ingacopa nawe na if uthatha leave for 3 months. Can you cope? I took a leave for a month, almost 2 months now, ebandleni. Isn't they are functioning? They don't need me. They don't need me. They can function without me.
Interesting, Mathebula-Born. This is so interesting. This is a very powerful conversation. I'm sure you want other people to hear. I'm sure you want your leader, your manager to hear this. Because already now, of course, we are still live. If you just joined us, we are still live on GNF TV channel on YouTube, and GNF Ministries page on Facebook. Of course, I'm chilling here. No Baba or Rev. S.A. Mathebula, he is a candidate. Mayor Yasekuruleni Metro. I mean, not just municipality, not the small ones. Ekuruleni. Okay, Baba. Let me just quote. There's a quote that I really like from G.C. Maxwell. It's developing yourself to become a leader. You have potentially to change everything. It will add to your effectiveness, subtract your weakness, divide your workload, and multiply your impact.
Wow.
So, Baba, what makes a good leader?
A good leader, he becomes a good leader because he has surrounded himself with people of quality, people who are better than him or her. That is what a good leader does. You surround yourself. Going back to the scripture, Bible talk about David. Little David was surrounded by mighty men of war. Yes. Little these people, some of them, they will be able to use a sword, you know, with the left hand. Some with the right hand. Some they were actually able to use both hands. He was surrounded by strong men who were stronger than him. That is why David had a strong kingdom for 40 years because he was surrounded by right people. The things that makes a great leader, number one, you need to surround yourself with people of ability, quality, and skills. Over the time, people abangathi bazi kangcono sifuna ubasusa esayidini lethu. You understand? We want to suppress them. You know, we get intimidated by them. Many people have asked me, you know, the secret of my success. I didn't go that far when it comes to school, you know, and then education. But let me tell you, I surrounded myself with smart people. I don't have information when it comes to accounting and all that, but I've got the best CA who is looking after our finances. You know, I don't know much about policies, but I've got the best lawyer in our church who's looking after the policies of our ministries. When God gave me those people, they did not intimidate me. I understood that God, he brought these men and women to me for a reason. That is what they said to David. But you are of our blood. We are here. The Bible says they came and gave him a strong support. You know, so a leader surrounds himself or her with strong people. Don't be intimidated by people, you know, ababonakala sengathi bazi kangcono bakhuluma isilungu esingcono. Hayi, anginandaba nesilungu sabo mina ngiyazi nginogcobo ngibiziwe uNkulunkulu ufuna ngibe la, and I know my mandate. So surround yourself with better people. Number two, you know, leaders are readers. If you are a leader, you need to read about other leaders, how other leaders have achieved. You cannot be a leader. Kumbula lithi uSamuel before ezoqhotshwa, uSaul, I mean before ezoqhotshwa njengenkosi, lithi he was taller than, you know, than the rest. He was so tall ngokwe structure. And I always say to people, a leader must be taller than them all. You know, when it comes to your thinking, be smart in your thinking.
And knowledge.
Your knowledge, be smart. Be a reader. If your people, they read 3 books, you know, read 4. You understand? Wow. Read 4. You know, I read around about 4 books a month. That is me. I did not have time to go to school, but I school myself. I don't have time to listen to something that does not build. I have made my car a school. You understand? I get a CD, I get something that is going to empower me. When I wake up in the morning, I listen to someone's sermon. Leaders are readers. Number 3, leaders are people who have an exposure. Let me tell you, you cannot be in one place and expect to influence other people or ube nomqondo or wide. You understand? For your mind to be wide, travel. If you've got money, travel. You know, the other thing that changed my thinking, I would go to Singapore. I would go to Dubai. And even when I visit this place for holiday, I don't just go in there and enjoy your holiday. I want to find out who built this hotel. What was in the mind of an architect? Why I built a hotel at AJ? You know, I'm saying to you, the places you go to, they change your thinking. They change the way you view things. They change the way, you know, you operate. So I said, surround yourself with right people, and then leaders are readers, and then go to different places. Places they actually make you to become a great leader.
Wow, interesting, very powerful. In fact, very powerful. Babugele Makhaya, Utu Baba, leaders are readers. Because people, they know I'm such a bookworm. I love to read, and for you to grow, you have to read. You understand? And what is, surround yourself with people who are better than you. And as they are not there to intimidate you. You have to learn, use them as a lesson. You just use them. When I always say, people who are better than me, because there's so much to grasp from them.
If you have people abangazi, you are not growing. You are robbing yourself.
Interesting. Babugel, share, and share, and share. So, Baba, you are a leader of devoted citizens.
Yeah.
What made you to stand in for a mayor position?
Yeah, well, obviously I'm a leader of Hope Restoration Ministries, and then I'm a founder of People Matter Foundation, which is an organization that better the lives of people, you know, building houses, giving bursaries. These are the things that I've been doing. I always had a passion, of doing this. And then 2 years ago, we started an organization that is called Devoted Citizen. And the reason is, I looked at people in this country and they were taking a back seat, hoping that things will happen. So I was concerned about our environment, that we go to church, but our environment is dirty. So I challenged these people. I said, after I wrote the book, Devoted Citizen, I said, we need to begin to clean and take care of our country. So the ICM, which is Independent Citizen Movement, it was started based on the book that I wrote, Devoted Citizen, and then it gave birth to this Independent Citizen Movement, so which is the movement now that will step into politics. Well, I'm not a founder of it, but I've influenced it, So the person who started it, he's in the church. So, and then they invited me to say, listen, we have seen what you have done, and we strongly believe you can make a difference in our country, especially in such a time as this, And when I looked around, I realized, what? Even the Church of Jesus, we have taken a back seat. We have checked out. The Church of Jesus, for years, we have distanced ourselves. We looked at politics sengathi into kaSathane, into esingafanelanga singene kuyo kanti iBhayibheli lesilifundayo mawungathula ulibheke 70% of the material in the Bible, it is more political. It's more about politics. The story of Joseph in the book of Genesis, the story of Moses, the story of Nehemiah, the story of Daniel, the story, of Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego, the story of Esther, Deborah, Deborah, you go on and on, Samson, the judges. It is politics. The book of Leviticus, it talks about the laws, how to govern the city, how to govern, how to relate with one another. These are the laws. Unfortunately, sivele sayithatha yonke into sayispiritualize. Here is a good example. Lithi iBhayibheli, Jesus, uthi Jesu, the Spirit of the Lord is upon me. It has anointed me to set the captives free. Who are the captives? The captives are those who are in prison, psychologically. Captives are those who are in prison ngenxa yepoverty, and then physically, you name it. But we took that verse, concentrate kuyo, package ku spirituality phela ukuthi people are bound spiritually. People bafanele ba deliver phela amademon, and then we deliver them kumademon. Mara uyasuka lapho yobulawa indlala kalanto yokudla. Siyabathandazela bayakhululeka lapha, baphuma lapha ngaphandle baya oppresswa le ngaphandle by the government, because we only concentrated on the spiritual matters, sayeka lokokunye. So into inkosi mayiqala irevela lento ukuthi people must be free totally, even in the area of politics. And then I felt in my spirit ukuthi sibekele esayidini lento for too long, isikhathi manje esokuthi singene empini. Akubhekele verses esilithandayo sithi inkosi, he's looking for someone to stand in the gap. For someone to stand in the gap. It's amazing that when we interpret that person, ukuthi umuntu ofanele in the gap, ufanele ngomthandazo kuphela. Uyabona senze njani? Everything sivele sayichanela kumthandazo, sayispiritualize. Yethu uNkulunkulu wasengu Ezekiel lapha, I am looking for someone to come and stand in the gap so that I don't have to destroy these people. You understand? Because abantu bebangaphili kahle, physically, spiritually bebangaphili kahle in every area. But what we do thina bazalwane, we come in, we want to stand in the gap of prayer only. What about the gap of politics? What about the gap of medicine? Akubheka amadokotela wethu namhlanje, our nurses, sinabantwana namhlanje abangenanhlonipho, they don't respect abantu mabaye esibhedlela because they don't have God. God says, I want people who are going to stand in the gap, even in the area, of medicine. People who must stand in the gap, even in the area of sports. Reveal God in the area of sports, Oguyo. Stand in the gap in the area of technology. Look at the technologies we are namhlanje. The Church of Jesus, we are not owning that because we love mentioning izinto njengezinto zikaSatan. Radio, when it was introduced in the world, it was the church that says into kaSatan. Television, when it was introduced in the world, We said, the church again, we said in Doga Satan. If Facebook, when it was introduced, if you remember very well,
Yes,
Sithe in Doga Satan,
Yes, now we are using
until
it.
COVID came, everybody was ugijimela ku Facebook. Sesifuna ukuyisebenzisa. Because we have checked out, we have run away kuzo lezi zinto sanikeza umhlaba, uSathane waze wayithatha lezi zinto wagijima ngazo, you know, what build ama disciples ngawo. Uthi uNkulunkulu, I want a man or a woman who will stand in the gap so that I don't have to destroy the nation. Imagine kuwo wonke lama department lawa uma sinabantu bakaNkulunkulu, abantwana bakaNkulunkulu. Kingdom person. Let me tell you, there was no need for this mess. Imagine Alexander bezoba injani if besinendoda onkosikazi oqotho, you know, people abamsaba uNkulunkulu, abantu abamhloniphayo uNkulunkulu. If bebakhona, you know, and then bukuza ukwenzakalana.
Wow, wow, Mabukele Makhaya, I am so inspired right now. Utubaba, we are here to stand in the gap. Esther was not danger, was a queen. There was a purpose which why
Exactly.
palace. It was not about beauty, but she was there to stand in the gap for Abantwana ba Israel. So now we're challenging you today. Throughout the show, we are challenging you today with stand in the gap. Whether it's in prayer, whether it's in medicine, whether it's in technology, but stand in the gap. You were born and raised, of course, for such a time as this. So, Baba, I want to find out, you are a leader.
Yeah.
But as I said earlier on, a leader is someone that needs to serve. Leadership means you're serving people. So you must have passion for labantu basevai.
Yeah.
So what is the passion you have for your community? What is your passion for community?
Obviously, I want to see my community becoming better.
Yes.
I want to see my community improving. I want to see my community, you know, also be counted, you know, among the other communities. You know, why is Sbongile pants? All of us, we have been made in the image of God. Why it should be a certain nation that is respected? You know, there are things that are still worrying me in this country, in Africa. When are we going to have our own car that has been built in Africa? To Nancy, imoto, yakwe Africa. Yine wrong at? Is there anything wrong at? The last time I checked, all of us, we have been made in the image of God. So the passion that I have is that our people, they must live in a beautiful environment. Our people, they deserve the best. Our people, they need to compete, you know, with the best of the best in the world. Yes. You know, this is the passion that I have, you know. And my prayer is that this is something that must happen in the whole of South Africa. But obviously, this is what we're going to try our best with the grace of God. We want the people of Eguruleni to have the best schools, man. You understand? I still don't understand. And this is a disease here in Africa. You know, African leaders, they build izinto abangakholelwa kuzo. They build schools. We have built a school at Hope Restoration. It is Hope Restoration College. Guess who started the grade 1? Grade 1 yaqala ama-twins, amawele wami. Amawele wami wangena esikolweni and start grade 1, grade 2 up to grade 5. I'm told. Because you need to build something also you trust away. So we've got leaders abakhi ikolo but abantwana babo abafundi kulezo ikolo.
Even worse, uthisha ufundisa kuleso sikole.
No teacher there khona abantwana because we are building things esingayitrust thina. If I'm a teacher but I don't trust teaching yami. But I think
Baba Leonto it's mentally. I think there's something that with the apartheid regime and all those, so there was something that was planted in us as black people.
Yes.
Yeah. Tina will never be better.
We are not good enough.
The other race,
exactly.
So if we are
and in the teacher, you know, and we call that a multiracial. It's not a multiracial, it's just a white teacher that is there. Nothing wrong about that.
Yes.
But what I'm saying, we are all made in the image of God. We need to come to a point where we believe, we need to instill those rules, even in the leadership. But it must begin with leadership. Leadership must actually do that. Because look at our hospitals now. You know, and it's a disease as Africa. You've got people in other countries, uma begula, abayi kule ibhedlela. Ngisakhuluma ngama-presidents, abayi kule ibhedlela bazakhile. Kuthiwa nanku yomuntu uye eGermany. You are a president with the purse, unemali ye-country, i-budget ye-country. Nokuthi ubuilde isibhedlela ozothi mhlazana ugula wena. Uye kuleso sibhedlela, you put the infrastructure. You fail to do that. You are a failure. You are not a leader. Actually, you are an embarrassment, to yourself and to your children and the next generation.
I think we've got so much.
So we've got so much work to be done. So much work to be done. So leaders, we are being led by those type of people. But they go to private hospitals.
That was my worry when the COVID hit in South Africa. I was like, our hospitals, are we going to be able to cope?
Yeah.
That was my biggest worry. Like China, they managed to build
in 10 days. In 10 days.
In 10 days.
10 days.
I was like, Tina, I know Velus is corner. That was my take. I was like, I know Velus, just so far.
Yeah. And we've died. And our people, they continue to die. But I want to challenge all the young people who are watching, all the South Africans who are watching. It is doable, especially in Ngulungulu. Especially in Ngulungulu. God is trusting us. I need a man or a woman to stand in the gap. God is also looking at you. It is our time now. It is that season. And I feel it even right here in the studio, that it's a kairos moment. It's a season of God. Season. And the politics of this country will never be the same. Will never be the same. And I'm so glad ukuthi lento lena bengasi ayihlalanga kahle izawushintsha lento izawushintsha iyashintsha. I feel it in my spirit.
I believe God has raised certain people for such a time. I strongly believe they know. People who watch Esther always say that kunabantu mana bavusiwe for such a time.
And we call that a remnant.
Yes,
a remnant. Bakhona uNkulunkulu babekile, and they're going to come out in this season. I feel it in my spirit. There's a remnant. A remnant refusal. You shut.
I think this is the first time.
We are most.
We understand the lento of Esther. We understand the program of Esther. Thank you, Baba, for coming. Baba, as you just said, we need leaders with principles. We need leaders with standards. So, what are your leadership's principles? You like, president. I'll stand for this principle. I'll stand for these standards. I'll never compromise my principles and standards. What are your leadership's principles?
Here is something, and I love that you have asked this question. Take these principles from the life of Yaga David. David, before he could face the giant, he conquered in the private space. The first principle as a leader, make sure that you conquer your private space. A private space, this is where you kill the bear and the lion, and nobody's watching. Nobody's celebrating you. Nobody knows what is it that you have conquered. But you have conquered something, and there was no one who was there to celebrate you. There are things ofana uyibulale ku private space, because kunezinto eziku private space ezine tendency eyokuvela ku public space if awuzange uyibulale ku private space. Most of the leaders ba-attackwa izinto abafane bayibulale ku private space. I don't have to mention what is it that you need to kill in your private space. You know exactly what is it that you need to kill in your private space. First thing, make sure you conquer your private space. Build something before you build ngaphandle. And this is what even pastors, they need to look at. What is it that you have conquered in your private space before you face the giant in the public space? So the other principle, you become a leader because you have killed the giant. Liphi giant olibulele before you call yourself a leader. Yazi ngiyambonga uBishop Mhlapho. He is called a bishop, and I'm not here to attack anybody. He's called a bishop because he qualifies to be a bishop. Look at our branches that he has all over. That is why he's a bishop. What is it that you have conquered? Before uthatha title uzinikeza yona. So my principle is refuse, to be called something that you are not. Did you hear what I said? Refuse to be called something that you are not. or refuse ukunikezwa into
Right.
ongakwazi ongeke uzihandlishe. uDavid mabamnikeza the armament eyaka Saul uyalikile uDavid uthi akusiyona yami, I cannot fight with this. As a leader, you need to know what is it that you can use, what you are capable of, and what is it that you are not capable of. Ama leaders into babulala is that unikezwa nento bese because you trying to please everybody bese uyayenza. Yabona la semkhona
Siyakushaya.
bese yakushaya la semkhona ngithanda abantu kakhulu angisadli noma yini abangiphakela yona. Ngandlula kuleyo musa loyo ukuthi hayi Nkosi yami ngifuna ukuplease abantu ukuthi ngidle noma yini. Angisadli noma yini ngoba ngifanele ngibe sure ukuthi la mangimaphambi kwabantu I am healthy. Kunesikhathi lapho ngithi ngiplease abantu ngadla into eyangihambisa isiso, ngifanele ngishumayele isiso siyagijima ngoba ngifuna ukuplease omunye umuntu. I'm giving that illustration to say, as a leader, you must know what is it that is good and then what is it that works. Imoto ukuze ifunctione is either isebenza nge-diesel or isebenza nge-petrol. Angeke uthathe i-diesel uyifake emotweni eye-petrol. That car is not going to function. Know ukuthi ugood kuphi.
Know your strength.
Know your strength and your weaknesses as well. Because sometimes we say to people, know your strength. Know your weaknesses. Uma uyazi ukuthi la angikho right khona, ungasondeli, uvela ubonge uthi la angikho mina la.
Ngoba uyazi weakness yakhe lapho.
Exactly. I-example enye engayinikeza ngiyakhumbula bangibiza kwelinye ibandla bathi ngizokhuluma nge-eschatology. Uyalizwa lelo gama la eschatology. Bathi le eschatology come the doctrine of the end times. Hey, ngathula ngabheka ngathi hayi akusiyona yami le. Tholana ama-teacher abakwazi ukuhlaziya kahle i-doctrine. So know ukuthi ugood kuphi and then la ungekho good khona uvela uthi ngiyaxolisa. Bakhona abangayenza kangcono futhi and nabayenze futhi nganitholela umuntu ngabatholela vele umuntu oyenze kangcono. So know ukuthi wena ukuphi.
Know your strength.
Yeah.
And also know your weak. I love what Rev is saying.
Yeah.
Know your weaknesses as well. Because mawuzogijimela yonke into azokushaya ama-weaknesses akho uzohamba uyokwenza into kanti akusiyona kaSbongile lento. Ufuna ukuyonga lapha epulpit ushaye lezi zikabishop endinhlaba. Hayi sibona ukuthi no akusikona lokho. Know your strength and your weaknesses. Okay, Baba. One thing that I want to find out, what do you think can destroy a community yethu regarding politics? Because for me, number one, politics without principles, as we just talk about principle, that would definitely destroy a community yethu. Kunale culture le esikhona manje, political culture that does not produce true leaders, but it produces deal makers.
Yeah.
Which is not right. That's going to kill us.
Yeah.
So we've got this culture when people litigate in South Africa that teaches people to produce wealth without works.
Yeah.
We've got this culture in South Africa that teaches people to produce knowledge without character.
Yep.
We've got this culture like South Africa that teaches people to produce a pleasure without a conscience.
Yeah. I know it.
So according to you, what's your take?
Sishiyenye lapho, and then another culture ye religion without sacrifice. Ilapho kulento boycott. That is why we stepped in as an independent citizen movement. One of our manifesto, we are saying power back to the people. Abantu for too long, sithathe i-back seat. And then we started hoping ukuthi the president, the savior there, will come and save us and do everything. Sithi thina ku-ICM isikhathi sokuthi sivuke sizenzele. We want to lead from bottom up. Sithi, here you are, Mtakambata. You've got a skill. What is your passion? Uthi kimi, i-passion yami, it's farming. Nalapha ejaritini. Mfundi sengiqale i-farming ngiqale ispinach ngitshalile bese siyafika thina sithi you need another hectare ngoba you have proven yourself ukuthi you can build nali ibala. This is what we need to do in South Africa. We have destroyed our own people ngama grant. Yabona, grant has never, and I'm sorry mtakama, uma uthole grant. I know they were doing it ngendlela enhle, but grant has never bettered our country. It has made our country to be where it is. Ngoba the moment ngokunikeza something, I am destroying you. I am destroying, the abilities, the capabilities that are in the inside of you. Ngivele ngokuparalyze. Awusakwazi nokucabanga because you're gonna wait for a grant, which I understand. Abantu abadala bafanele
Not young people.
Not young people. Young people bagithi bahleli inyanga balinde 350. But they can't even wake up, adobe amaphepha la ngaphandle, baclean Nancy Alexander. Nancy, the last time we were there, we were right here, basically le river elapha, the stream. I was there in person, and looking what people have done there. And there was no young people, about 350. So those are the things that have destroyed our country. Those are the things. In Rwanda, it's one now, we have been overtaken by Rwanda. It's one of the best countries now in Africa, that is Rwanda. You know what the president did, which is something that I want to borrow from him. He came up, Kagame came in, he said, on Friday, 12 o'clock, from 12 to 2 o'clock, everybody must stop. You're going to pick up papers wherever you are. You pick up papers wherever you are, no littering. They've done that. Rwanda today is the best country, in Africa. Now it's competing with the world. So I'm saying, we need to empower our people. And then that type of a leadership, that is what we want to implement as ICM, even when we get into the municipality. We are saying, stop the grant. We're going to give you 2,000 rand, not 350. We're saying Nazi 200, 300 or 500, but magutline at least one ngevik. Kunabantwana ingane ezathola abantwana abasesebancane bayafuna ukuyofeda ama studies wabo. Nangu uthola igrant ungathathi lo mntana lo uyombeka lapha sinikeza omunye umuntu uyamthola. Give something for what you are receiving. Umuntu akazange adesign uNkulunkulu like that to receive. The way we have been designed, yamthola, is to receive and release.
And release.
Yeah, uma unga-release,
it's a problem.
You are a danger to yourself. Uzongena nasesibhedlela because akufanelanga ukuthi udle unga-release.
Amen.
Uyangizwa.
Hayi ngibuzwa kahle.
Inshallah. Kodwa ke si raise isizwe esidlayo kuphela. Esinga-release. They don't contribute.
Hayi baba, there's so much work that needs to be done in our country.
Mkhulu umsebenzi mntana.
Semkhulu umsebenzi.
Mkhulu umsebenzi and ibandla
There's 27 years yazi mawulokhu sikhuluma, I can see there's still a lot that we need to do.
Yeah.
And angesenzele omunye umuntu.
Yeah. And ibandla likaKristu kula lifanele livuke khona because there's nobody who can do this. Nobody.
Yes.
It is us, the Church of Jesus.
Wow, babukele emakhaya. If you just join us and you're wondering, it's kwenzakalani mara uRev ngimbonile on Tuesday. We are live and it's us got GNF TV. Today we just take Esther. We're going to bring him in. Because we believe he has been raised for such a time as this. We're talking about leadership. We cannot, I can't take it, now we're being led by abantu, corruption, we're being led by people who don't care about our people. They don't care about us. They make deals, they don't care about us. We need leaders. Now we're all about people. We're all about serving abantu. We're all about serving people because in leadership it's about that. Yeah. It's about serving. It's about empowering another person. So if Mathebula are busy with leader, but as Mathebula multiply, there's something wrong. There is something that is so wrong there. Baba, I want us to tackle issues that I believe which is now like we can't create. Looking at our education system, yeah. I want to find out from you. Do you think our education system, you're going to be a mayor soon, I'm going to call you a mayor.
Yeah.
You're going to be a mayor. So is our education system, especially African, yeah, is it competent enough? What's your take in our education system? Because it's very important that, yeah, our education,
yeah. How many minutes do we still have here? Fanele sicede isikhathi make ngibuze lapha before ngi-answer leyo question leyo.
We've got 10 minutes.
Okay. Now, well, that is a crime. Education is a big crime. It's murder. I'm sorry if I can use that word. What we are receiving in this country is not even an education. I'm sorry to say it. And then compared to other countries. Futhi ibhlungu yethu ngesikhathi sethu during apartheid ukuthi kunesikhathi where I was told I needed to master the parts of a grasshopper. That was a painful season in my life. I needed to master the parts of the grasshopper. And then I must master the parts of a grasshopper, but you must master the parts as a lizard. Ingisiza ngani lizard manje? Ingisiza ngani la ngihlezi khona i-grasshopper ingisiza ngani? You can tell that education is one system that the devil is using as a system, to put aside or to conquer the nation. Every nation, uma iteka over, bathola liberty, the first thing that they need to do is to improve the education system. Unfortunately, South Africa, we have never done that. We have allowed people to come in and to tamper with our education system. They have not built our education system in a proper way. That is the problem. Now, you go to Dubai, you look at how they teach their children. You understand? Yeah. Even just with each China. Each China uthatha umntana owenza grade 2. These boys, they can fix a TV. You understand? They can fix a TV. You give them a gadget, a computer, a phone.
They can just fix it.
They can just fix it. They can just fix it. A 5-year-old baby. Tina, here we are. Bana 5 years. 5 years, and and then uloguti 18 ma me, and then we are not teaching them. Abanye bapinde baqeda matric.
Even varsity.
Even varsity.
Even the IT, I don't think you can do
you cannot, because they are not. I strongly believe that there are things. It's like a pilot. My pilot train fly a plane. They don't train you with a real plane. You understand? They put you in this thing, I just forgot the name of it. A plane. And ungena phakathi kwayo. You drive the thing in a hambi. But you feel it's like a plane. Everything is there before you become a pilot. And then thereafter you can fly the real machine. I strongly believe, like Africa, we need to know what is it that we have. Abantwana bethu manje, they don't know anything about farming.
Yes.
You understand? What a shame.
And we've got such a beautiful land.
We've got not just beautiful, but fertile land. Fertile land that is not used. It is a shame and a crime for an African child to go to alale anadlana with so much land in this country. It's a shame. Because we can use that land, train our children to go into farming. That is why because amabhunu awayanga amaningi esikolweni, but you know what they did? They went into farming. Gonke lento esidlayo le breakfast esidlele ekseni uyamthola, and then ivela kubo ubisi esiluthelile ushukela esilutholile luvela kulo, iphalishi esolidla entambama, inyama esolidla entambama. So for me, here is something to answer your question in short. Education system yethu, how to educate people. Look at the problems of the country. What are the problems of the country? And then if we can look at the problem of the country and then counterattack the very same problems, come up with a solution of those problems. And I'll tell you, the problem of Africa now is food. If it is food, let's make sure we have more farmers. If it is medicine, let us make sure we've got excellent doctors. There's no need to bring doctors from Cuba. For what? What do they have in Cuba? What do they have in Cuba? Because cinema diseases are complicated. We can produce best doctors based on the diseases. Abantu base Africa banazo. Let me tell you, the best doctors in the world, they bring them here in Africa because Africa is complicated. And then if you can be a specialist of complicated diseases, you become a best doctor because walapha izifo abanye bangakaze bazilaphe.
Wow.
So look at the problems that we have. and then build people based on the problems. Let them bring the solutions
Let them be a solution.
to those problems, and then build a curriculum
That is
based on that, not a curriculum yase Europe enyeke isize ngalutho la.
Wow. Wow. Yazini, isikhathi ngathi sesosimosha.
Sesiphelile isikhathi sakho.
Yathi sesosimosha. But no, kunama questions engiyafuna ukuthi siwajampe baba.
Yeah.
We are facing a 34% unemployment
Yep.
rate in South Africa.
Yes.
When as a potential leader that is soon to be let me say
Yeah.
it. What can you do to reduce unemployment in South Africa? That is very important. I can't skip this question.
Yeah. I'm glad you have asked that. And I'm not going to answer that because young people, they've got answers already. All that I need to do is to give them an ear. Bring young people here, man.
Yes.
Ask them, how can we solve these problems?
Yes.
They will give you answers. Bahlezi labantu abasha labahlezi. Uyabona nje uhleli la unama ideas amaningi. We have not given our young people a chance. Call the young people. Tell us, what can we do? They will surprise you. They will surprise you. I'm listening to my boys who are 13 years old. I'm asking them, how can you solve the problems of this country? They are 13. Ama answers wabo, they are totally different.
I'm glad you mentioned that, Baba, because my next question was,
Yeah.
is our leaders giving abantu abasha an opportunity? We're looking at the assembly,
Yeah.
right now. All our leaders are over 60 years old.
Yeah.
So I understand you. Why aren't we given the opportunity as young people?
That is the biggest mistake that we have done as leaders, even into politics. I mean, I'm looking at other people and then in different departments, education and all that. I'm saying, what is this? Not that we don't respect elderly people, but put people with a fresh mind. One young man who's pastoring our church at Springs, we gave him that church. He was 24 years old when he was pastoring the church.
Wow.
He has just 10 now, 28. Because I believe in people. And let me tell you, he has taken that church to another level. Wow. You understand? So what I'm saying, give youngsters an opportunity. Allow them to make mistakes. Guide them. You understand? Show them a way and all that. Because after all, and then we are saying is the future of tomorrow, but we don't give them opportunities today. Yet we are saying is the
and
future
you just
of
said
tomorrow.
that they've got brilliant ideas.
I've learned
that. The world is introducing technology that is so high. I don't think about the assembly, or let me just say about parliament.
Yeah.
They've got the capability of adapting with the technology that is being introduced right now.
Yeah. Civilization is moving very fast, and you need sharp minds and young people.
Innovative.
I'm telling you, the very Facebook labs started COVID. Guess who fixed that? Youngsters. They just came in and said, no, you connect this, you connect that and that and that and that. I don't have to worry. The people now who are doing these cameras, it is young people. You understand? We cannot run away from that.
I believe leaders should invest in the next generation. Then you are a true leader if you invest in the next generation.
You need the balance. You need elderly people. You need young people.
You need to guide us.
Because so you also need somewhere there. Bring that balance, and then that becomes a healthy organization.
Wow, Babugile Maka, unfortunately, our time is up. But Baba, I am not going to let you go before answering this question. We are facing another problem, which is the gender-based violence in South Africa. More than 2,700 women have been killed in the past 2 years. I'm talking about 2020 to 21. 2,700. Yeah, I mean, obviously it's young women most of the time. Is the society doing something wrong? Are we doing something? What is the problem?
Once again, it goes back to leadership. Unfortunately, I need to say that it goes back to leadership. We are wondering if you don't have a leader or you don't have leadership, as in every area. You need leadership. They implement laws, regulation, and then they punish. Singabheki leadership bese ngathi umkhulu onikeza abantu ama-sweets, whoever comes in unikezwa ama-sweets. Criminals, they know the government a week. And that is why they abuse women and all that. You'll never do this in Dubai. You'll never do this in other countries. The rate esubuyo, because discipline, criminals are taken to the prison and all that. But remember, it is not only the responsibility of the government and leadership.
Society.
Charity begins at home as well. How have we raised these boys? We also have a serious pandemic in the midst of another pandemic. Almost 63 to 67%, of households are fatherless. Abantwana bethu bakhula bangenabo baba, they don't have role models. So sikhulisa abafana are very angry. You understand? They are very angry, and there's a lot of work to be done. Every church must have a youth ministry. Yes. Every church, every man must adopt a young man and mentor these boys, because if we don't do that, we're not going to build this nation. So it's a work for everybody. Sonke kuyadingeka sibuye senze lo msebenzi. Abomama uyangithola ngathi makathethe umntana athi wafuza uyihlo. Uyangithola sikhulisa abantwana abathuka abomama nabo ngokwabo. And then this young man becomes so angry because my mother all the time she's telling me that I'm so stupid like my father. So irresponsibility yethu sonke. Ebandleni ngikulo ngichallenge amadoda all the time. Uma uqeda ukusindiswa, the first question uyindoda, I'm asking you, awuna ngane owayishiya ngaphandle na? Uma unengane owayishiya ngaphandle, it is not enough for you ukuthi uJesu uyinkosi. Ukuze uJesu abe yinkosi makulanda umntana wakho noma unyeke umlethe emshadweni okuwo. But make sure that lo mntana loyo uyazi ukuthi ukhona njengobaba makumsupport, and isupport akusiyimali. Isupport is for you to be there. Because kunento umntana ayidingayo kababa angayinikeza ubaba kuphela, not umama. Ngiyazi siphile esizweni lapho sithi it is okay, it is two women can raise a baby, or two men can raise a baby. That is not a design of God. Kunezinto uNkulunkulu ayibekile endodeni, kunezinye izinto uNkulunkulu ayibekile kumuntu wesikumama. You understand? We cannot just confuse izinto zikaNkulunkulu. uNkulunkulu uyazi. A man needs the tenderness eyakamama. Unida the braveness yaga baba zihlangane. So uma labantwana bekhula bengena baba, that is where the church comes in. We need to play that role. Abomama uma kungena mama, that is where the mothers must come in. But ukukhipha le lion ela kulomfana ithukuthenywa kancane. Ithukuyehla kancane. Only a mother can do that. So it's a topic for another day. But it is a responsibility for everybody to do that. Thank you so much for having me.
Wow, Baba. Shazil. Okay, last question now.
That's a new question.
Last question. Baba, during looting, the unrest period, if you were the president during that moment, what could we have done? Because because I think it started around Tuesday, and then it went on from Durban, it went on and on until the President Wabane delivered a speech on a Sunday. But I listened to his speech, my Kulumo president was all about vaccine and all. Towards the end of his speech, and then he started saying it's all about tribalization and what not. But for me, as a leader, you must have a sense of emergency. Your house is burning, your whole home is on fire. You're not taking charge of your home affairs. For me, that was it disturbed me. President, why is he not taking this thing seriously? So if you were president during that time, could you have done something different?
Well, president one, sometimes but it's easier, said than done. Yes. The man is really in a serious, challenging position. That is not a child's play. And by the way, I don't have wishes of becoming a president. But you're definitely right. Kunezinto that I strongly believe his cabinet bukfanele izenze. Before even yenzeka lento le, what do you call the secret unabantu abafanele babe underground abacheckayo ukuthi kwenzakalani in your country. Abantu abafunda ingqondo zabantu. There were some symptoms already, ama-signs. Bokunabantu abaphimiselayo, abantu abakhulumayo in public. abazange babanqande laba bantu laba. They should have just grabbed those people. Kunezinye izinto ufana uyivimbe before ziyenzeke, but not even the president. Where are the police? The police were exposed before you attack the president or before we say anything about it. Where was the Department of Police? Where was the army? Minister of Defense? We am told, at least not day one, day two.
At least day two.
Yes. What happened? They were not there. You understand? Azange nibone lento lena ukuthi izokwenzeka. Bene ngayibona ukuthi it's coming. They even said in public that we're going to make sure that this country is unrulable. They've mentioned that. So as a leader, you must be, my answer is that every leader, you must be proactive. You don't wait for a problem and then bese udila nayo. Deal a problem before it qala. It is better to contain the problem than to maintain the problem.
Because I'm sure now if you are a leader, there are things also not under my leadership. These things will never happen under my leadership. You'll try by all means, with not this.
Yeah, that is why the Minister of Defense was moved out, because he failed us big time. Unfortunately, the minister, police, the commissioner, and then the Basadok Batinta. But those people, they really, really messed us up. Well, inkosi zakusiza, and we'll see ukuthi inkosi isiza kanjani igama lenkosi Malibongwe.
Amen, Baba. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me,
show.
and thank you, Lalele Kai Nkosi Benani. I pray that may the good God do you good. A beautiful show. Yes.
Before Valelisa, tell us, why should you be a mayor? Why people should vote for you?
I'm not going to tell you why you should vote for me. I even told them I'm campaigning.
Yes.
Ngiyabona abanye bangena house to house. Yabona mongena house to house uthi kubani ngicela ningivotele. Mina, I said to the people, look at my track record, what I have done. If you want to experience what I have done, maybe you've got a reason to vote. I am not asking for your vote, but if you want to see a track record, look at my works, look what the Lord has done. And uma ufuna izinto ziyenzeke, I have this quote that says, you don't stumble into your future, you create the future that you want. Maybe that will be the reason, and then for me to ask you to vote. Ngithi mina kuwe kune future engifunayo ukuyakha, and ngizoyakha ngezandla zami. Be a part of that. Let us build the future that we want, because you don't just sleep uvuke une future or a desire. So you don't stumble into your future, you build the future that you want.
Wow.
So for that reason, ICM is there.
Yes. Siyabonga kakhulu Baba. We feel so humbled with this journey. Like Esther.
Thank you.
Yes, Baba, into ngisho. When you are a mayor, Babugela Makhaya, listen to the statement. When he is a mayor, I'm not saying if, because if not, maybe not. But when Nkulunkulu said there is power in the tongue. So when he is a mayor, so go for 6 months, Baba, ne?
Yep.
Uthi seklishe down office yakho. Bese uyabuya kwa Esther.
100 days. 100 days.
Yes,
100 days.
Oh, 100 days. Okay, 100 days.
Amen.
And then bese uyabuya kwa Esther.
Amen.
Uzositshela ukuthi kunjani.
Amen.
Uyabuza ukuthi ushilo ukuthi uzobuya babukela emakhaya. Anyway, siyabonga Baba kakhulu for joining us. Thank you so much babukela emakhaya for tuning in this afternoon. All I can say from me, Babugela Makaya, let us vote with a spirit of discernment and wisdom. We have the power to change what is happening around our country. We have the power. Through your vote, we can change yonke land, and especially we as Christians, this is the time for us to stand in the gap. This is the time that we stand in the gap for abantu. This is the time that we stand for a community. This is the time that I said throughout the show, I'm giving you a challenge to stand wherever you are, whether you're in medicine, whether you are in teaching, whether you are in accounting, stand in the gap. Let uNkulunkulu be glorified, because when you took a charge, when I know for sure that I was born and raised for such a time as this. Thank you so much for tuning in, and of course you're going to see us next week. We are back. Enjoy your afternoon. Bye.